Happy Tuesday, another beautiful, absolutely soaking wet Tuesday here in the UK. I'm back inside again. At some point I will get back outside onto my step, but not just quite yet. This week, astrologically, we have so much going on. So Mercury has come into Gemini. So at the moment, as I'm recording this, we've got the Sun, we've got Venus, we've got Jupiter, and we've got Mercury, all in Gemini, adding to this really fast-paced month. So May started in Gemini season as being quite fast, but I'm really finding that June, the pace has really started to ramp up. It's a noticeable speeding up. You may have thought May was fast, June is going to be even faster, and when we have all these planets in Gemini, it's really good to capitalize on the energy, and through that we should be looking at things like rapid exchanges of information, networking opportunities. Can you go out of your comfort zone and meet new people over the next month? Can you open up? Are you going to be writing? Are you going to be speaking a lot more? Can you really utilize this energy so you are sharing your communications from your heart? Are you making every decision from your heart? Are you really thinking about how you are showing up and speaking? So there are two aspects I really want to talk to you about, and I also want to share a channeled message as well. So channel messages I used to share at every new and full moon, and then I got out of the habit of doing so, but I've had a really strong call and redirection back from my guides to start really sharing these channeled messages at new moon and at full moon. So I'm going to go back to doing that, and who knows what Thursday's videos will bring. So Tuesdays are going to be kind of an astrological update. Thursdays, who knows? We'll see what comes, but I can let you into a little secret. There will be a new moon healing light language on Thursday this week if all goes to plan. So today, the 4th of June, we have the Venus star point, and this is a really, really beautiful aspect, but let's look at what this actually is. So this is when we have the merging of Sol, our sun, with Venus, and she begins to start her transition. So she's moving from Venus Lucifera, Venus the morning star, into Venus Hesperus, the evening star. So she travels with Sol for a few days and she starts to make her transition back into that beautiful evening star. So this is a part of a wider 5-year Venus cycle. So she basically ends up drawing, sorry, I got really itchy nose this afternoon, I'm going to be cross. She ends up drawing a pentagram in the sky over 5 years. So we're just getting to one of the points of the pentagram and then she moves back. So the Venus is going to be in Gemini when she makes this beautiful star point. So when we have a Venus star point like this, it's a season of rebirth for us all. So when I really felt into the energy, it's not so dramatic as Venus's rebirth through a retrograde period. So we had that in last year, when we had that 44-day retrograde period where she moves from evening star down into the underworld and is rebirthed as the morning star. This is the opposite way around. So she's been this beautiful rebirth of the morning star. Now she is coming into the evening star, so the next part of her cycle. So it feels much less dramatic in the rebirth terms, but really at this moment in time, she's bringing a huge amount of clarity around what happened in that Venus retrograde. So thinking back to the themes that were coming up for you last Venus retrograde, that was kind of August, September, so end of August going into September last year. Felt like a very long retrograde. I did a really beautiful Venus retrograde support group and lots of things came up. So if you did journal during that time, go back. What has come up? What has cleared? What is now giving you a huge amount more clarity around that? So less virulent energy, more about rebirth, more about clarity, more about moving forward. I'm so sorry, my nose is so itchy this afternoon. It's ridiculous. So this is taking place in Gemini as well. So we're really going to look into that heart-mind connection as well. and really looking about how you are going to speak from your heart. So if you're getting clarity over things, can you speak it from your heart? Can you make the most of this really beautiful energy? Like I say, this is part of a wider 5-year Venus cycle. I could talk about the Venus cycle for hours, but just make a note in your diary. Just notice what happens today. Notice your energy over the next few days as Sol is conjunct Venus for most of this week, and make the most of the opportunities that are presented to you. Push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone and say yes to the things that are coming up, and those areas that now have clarity. Act from your heart, act with integrity, but really start finishing it off, start moving forward. Don't just sit there and go, oh, could have been this bit of clarity here. Make that decision, use that information and move forward. So a really beautiful aspect today, and this is going to continue for the next few days, so really harness it, make the most of it. And then on Thursday we have that beautiful new moon in Gemini. So as Venus is being rebirthed, as she's traveling with the sun, we're going into that dark moon period, and whenever we go into that dark moon period, which is kind of today and definitely tomorrow, Wednesday, this is all about deep healing, deep reflection. It's often a time of transition where we're letting go of what has been in the previous lunation, the previous lunar cycle, and then we're moving into a new cycle. So new moons are always beautiful time for rebirth, for starting again, and this new moon is going to be in Gemini. So if you know your astrological chart, have a look where Gemini falls, see what house it falls into, which will really bring up the areas of life you need to look into, but also see if it's conjunct any planets as well that might be having a little bit of influence around this new moon. So if you're not sure where Gemini is in your chart, if you have any planets, what house it is, then why don't you drop me a DM and we'll book you in an astrological reading, and we can go through either the whole of your birth chart, or you could have a mini moon reading. So I'm going to do some mini moon readings. I'll talk those a little bit at the end, but it's going to be a laser audio based on where Gemini is in your chart, what you're going to experience, the house it's coming into, and pulling some oracle cards, taking those intuitive messages from spirit as well. But this new moon is really going to bring up a lot around communication. It's going to be really asking you, regardless of what house this falls in, how can you improve your communication? Do you need to listen more? Are you actively listening, or are you just kind of letting the energy wash over and pretending that you are listening to people? And Gemini really brings through a multifaceted nature of truth. So are you seeing all sides of the truth, or are you sticking to a really dogmatic version of the truth? Are you sticking to your guns? Are you not seeing all that there is? So Gemini for me is a real shape-shifting energy. She changes, she's quite flighty. So are you really listening to someone, or is your mind flying off somewhere else because that's more interesting? So really thinking about the moment, how are you communicating on a one-to-one level? How are you communicating in personal situations when you're with people, but also how are you communicating online as well? It's going to be a great new moon for socializing, for networking, kind of opening new channels, exploring new places, new people, really pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. And the message I really got through from Spirit as well is about saying yes to any communication opportunity that comes your way, such as speaking events, presenting, communicating, writing, blogging, vlogging, whatever comes your way, even if it pushes you out of your comfort zone, say yes to it. Okay, and then step into your power as a really strong heart-led communicator as well. And the other message that really came through was to get curious. Really get curious about the information that you're receiving, but watch for information overload. Can you act from your heart? Can you be really discerning about the information that's coming through? We're being bombarded on all sides at the moment. So what is true for you, And can you get curious? How are you speaking and presenting? So if you're attracting a certain energy in your life, how are you presenting your words that might be attracting that energy? Do you need to release? Do you need to change the way that, if you're in business, the way that you market yourself, the way that you speak about yourself? That goes for us all. Can you be more loving and more kind to yourself as well? And when we start talking about communication, for many of us, particularly light workers and particularly women, men get this too, but when we start talking about sharing our truth, our throat chakra starts to really tense up, because there have been so many times that our voice has been suppressed. We haven't been able to share it authentically. So how can you, over this new moon, set some intentions about using your voice, using your words powerfully, but also how are you going to use your voice to create transformation, not just for you, but externally as well? Do you need to send some healing to your throat? And I know on Thursday, what they've asked me to do for the Thursday video is really bring through some light language to soothe our throats, to allow us to speak our words. So it's a really powerful week. I'm going to share a message from the Collective Council of Light, but just remember, seize every opportunity, speak from your heart, get curious about your communication, and know whatever has happened over the past few weeks, over the past few months, a new moon is always a brilliant time to reset and restart. This is going to be the last new moon before summer solstice as well. So think about what you want to achieve in the next 6 months, or what ends you need to tie up so you can step into summer solstice with a renewed energy. So this is the message I got from the Collective Council of Light. So I write this down and then I read it out. So let's hope I can read my handwriting. Beloved ones, stepping into the energetic portal of summer solstice as your Gemini new moon opens the floodgates for the 6/6 energies to arrive, the way markers for dramatic shifts in consciousness for the collective and personally. Radical realignment continues until all higher timelines and trajectories are reached. While it may seem a long process, the speed is in fact milliseconds when reviewed within the infinite nature of the universe. Allow yourself the grace to flow with changes, gracefully surrendering from love and knowing that your heart will guide you forward. As you approach the Dragon Gate opening of summer solstice, notice that within the shift you can find stillness and calm, and that is always found in your heart. Call upon the dragons to guide you through the portal of solstice and to deliver you through and onto and into a new paradigm and energetic frequency. Galactic dragons are now making their presence felt. Call upon them to share their wisdom as they hold the codes of your galactic awakening and the ability to see beyond into the frequency of the stars. You begin to remember that which has been hidden. You begin to see that which you have kept hidden. Let the galactic dragons breathe their star fire into you. May you feel their warmth, their love, and their activation. For there is now only forward. No looking back, no waiting for others to catch up, only forward motion. Allowing your star fire to surface from deep within, and we send you lunar blessings, beloved ones. So they were from my guides, the Collective Council of Light. So I really hope something in today's video has really resonated for you. Let those words sink in, and I am doing some mini moon readings for new moon, so you'll get an audio delivered directly to you based on your astrology chart, the house which is falling into, messages from spirit, oracle cards, whatever is coming through intuitively as well. Super powerful, quick, effective readings which are going to bring you some real nuggets of gold. So if you are interested and I've set up the tech correctly, I will pop a link below to book. And if I haven't set up the tech correctly, drop me a DM if you're on Facebook and we can arrange it. Or if you're on YouTube, drop me an email, hello@morganasophia.com. Fingers crossed the tech is all sorted and then it's delivered direct to you. So a really beautiful way to start this last new moon before summer solstice. So I'm sending you all so much love. I'll be back on Thursday with some light language for our throat chakra healing. So until then, I will send you so much love, and to those of you who are booking your new moon reading, you'll hear from me on Thursday. Much love. Take care.